What's up, Movie Emporium fans? I hope your year has been going well. I hope your holiday's been going well. I hope you had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. It's December 31st, end of the year. I hope you guys have a safe New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So it's the end of the year, which means we're getting ready to hit in 2019, which means a whole slew of big budget and new movies are coming out. So, as the last video of this year that I wanted to do is a most anticipated list, and that list is going to be wildly different than what you want or what other people want. And it's just movies I preferably think are more exciting than, so I created a list for it. That's what you do. That's how you roll when you're doing movie reviews or a YouTube channel and so on and so forth. So, with that, I do have 10 films, like I said, widely different, but I also have some honorable mentions, so I want to go ahead and start with those. So, for honorable mentions, I have Detective Pikachu, the Pokemon movie. Trailer fantastic, one of the best trailers I've seen this year. I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan. I will still go see it because it does look entertaining. It's going to make a whole lot of money, but from the trailer alone, I at least wanted to give honorable mention to it because I think it's adorable. I think Ryan Reynolds has something going here, like he did with Deadpool. So we'll see what happens. It'll probably be great. Like I said, I make a lot of money, so I want to at least give some credit to that. The next movie is Spider-Man: Far From Home. I love the first one. The problem was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out, ruined everything for Spider-Man for me. But that's a joke. But in general, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite movie of the year. Spoiler because we'll see what happens when the actual my best of list comes out. But spoiler is number one. So, but I'm really excited to see what the group is going to do here. I'm really excited with Tom Holland, Jake Gyllenhaal. Zendaya is back, and I just think it's a great cast. And I think it's a very well done Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man: Homecoming was a great movie, and I'm excited by Far From Home. But it couldn't make my top 10 because there's so much good stuff that I know about at this moment. So, but I want to give it at least some shout out credit. But the other movie is Gemini Man, and it's a movie directed by Ang Lee. It's about a over the hill hitman. Apparently, from what the IMDb credit said, that he has to face his clone. But it has Will Smith, it has Mary Elizabeth Winstead, it has Clive Owen in it. And Ang Lee is hit or miss with me. That's why he didn't make the top 10. But I'm really interested to see a movie like this because Ang Lee and his visuals, everything from Life of Pi to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, this movie could be fantastic. It could be an awards winner. We'll see. But I haven't seen a trailer for it, so I don't know. But I'm interested. I'm excited. It's an honorable mention. So, but there you go. There's some honorable mentions. There's many other films I will not discuss on this list. I apologize, but those are three I really have interest in seeing. So, but number 10, this is going to make a lot of people mad. I'm sorry, but Avengers Endgame is my number 10 most anticipated movie of the year. Um, I will admit I'm not a huge Civil War fan. I love the comic series, but the movie didn't do much for me. I thought the airport sequences was amazing, but just the story overall, it just didn't do anything. And then Avengers Infinity War was a much improved movie, but I think after Captain America Winter Soldier, I think the Russos just they have so much on their plate that it's not always going to succeed, which doesn't take away from Infinity War. I just watched it the other day. It was a great movie. The reason I wasn't actually going to put this in my top 10, I was going to do an honorable mention for it, but after watching the trailer for it, I'm like, this is a pretty amazing trailer. It's cut well, it's, to the point, it's short. We see all the old Avengers. Tony is stuck in space, and I really enjoy that kind of stuff. It looks good. I hope it's good, but to be in the top five, something really has to get to my soul and my heart. And Avengers just doesn't get there, but I'm so excited for it. That's why it's number 10. So for number 9, we got It Chapter 2. It in 1990 was something I looked fondly on, like with The Stand when it came out. I was looking forward to it. I watched it every year. I love it. Tim Curry's an amazing actor as Pennywise. And then something happened. Andy Muschietti got involved with the remake of it. Skarsgård got involved with being Pennywise. They got all these kids. They got the kid from Stranger Things to play, the comedian Richie. And the movie blew up. It made $300 million. It was extremely successful. So of course they're going to do chapter 2 because the first part is about the kids. The second part is about the adults, even though they're going to bring the kids back. And they got an amazing cast for this. They got Jessica Chastain. They got Patrick Wilson. They got Bill Hader. They got the I apologize, I don't know his name, but they got the guy who played the sheriff in Sinister, which was a great horror film. And this movie is looks like another winner. There's no trailer for it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I love the first one. I thought everything was hitting all cylinders. It was one of the better movies that came out this year. And if I had done a top 10, if I had done this YouTube channel back in 2017, it would have been in my top 10 because it was an amazing horror film that just it worked. So it's number 9. Like I said, there's more films on the top, but I at least wanted to mention it as number 9. So we'll move on. So number 8 is called Ford versus Ferrari. It's about a battle between the Ford manufacturer and the Ferrari manufacturer in the 1966 Le Mans race. I don't know anything about it. I apologize. I'm not a racing guy. I'm not a car guy. I have a friend who likes the Daytona 500, that type of racing. But what this movie has me excited for is the fact that James Mangold, who did Logan, is directing this in 3:10 the Yuma remake. It has Christian Bale, Matt Damon, and this movie, even though there's no trailer for it, it's already in my top 10 just for those three individuals alone. James Mangold, after doing Logan, just gets a pass, 100% pass. Even if the movie sucks, which it may, and it may not even come out this year, I'm giving him a pass just for Logan. And if it sucks and then his next movie sucks, then we'll see. But right now, this one movie puts it at number 8. I'm really excited for it. I'm really interested to see how James Mangold is going to do a film like this because he knows action really well. And if you've ever seen Ron Howard's Rush, then you know that directors like this have an eye for visuals, and I'm excited for this, and we'll see how it turns out. But no trailer yet, hopefully soon. So number 7 is Toy Story 4. Okay, so I have a confession to make. Every year, I usually put a Spielberg movie or a Pixar movie in my number 1 spot, unless Star Wars is coming out. Then that changes, but Toy Story 1 through 3 is considered one of the greatest trilogies of all time. I love it. A lot of people love it. It's crazy good. It's sad. It's heartfelt. It takes inanimate objects and makes them powerful. And it's just a great trilogy. When they talked about doing a Toy Story 4 because Toy Story 3 made $1 billion, I'm on the fence by this. Yes, I'm going to go see it because it's Toy Story and it's Pixar. But the sequelitis that Pixar has done to themselves is insane. I like The Incredibles 2, a lot. I like, Cars in aspects, but I just feel like there's so much missing from Pixar that Disney Animation has picked up with all the movies they've come out. Thank God the stuff like Coco, Inside Out have come out because I just feel that doing Toy Story 4 is not needed. And all the issues between John Lasseter leaving and Rashida Jones who left, I don't know. I feel like there's something missing, but it has a great cast, and then we got Key and Peele back doing stuffed animals in that trailer, which was amazingly funny. I definitely put it in my top 10 because it's Toy Story. I'm gonna go see it. I'm excited by it, but I'm just not as excited as I would be most years. Apparently, they just announced a new movie, which is gonna have Chris Pratt and Tom Holland in it, which is kind of funny because they're both Marvel people. It's called Onward. So we'll see how that plays out. But for right now, I'm kind of cautious, optimistic, if that makes any sense. So that's my number 7. And okay, so a crazy thing happened in 1999. There was this little known director who had done like one movie, I think it was called Wild America. He had done this movie about a person who sees dead people, and it has Bruce Willis, it has Haley Joel Osment, and it blew up out of nowhere. Had one of the greatest endings of any movie. If you've seen it, most of you have. You know what the ending is. But then something happened where this guy M Night Shyamalan made a great movie called Unbreakable. Then he made a decent movie called Signs. And then he completely fell off the face of the earth. He did all kinds of crap like The Village and Lady in the Water, and all this crap. Just whatever. Last Airbender. But something happened 10 years later. He decided to do a movie called The Visit, which was a Blumhouse, shot on digital cameras. It's kind of like a found footage type thing. And then he did something else called Split. And I'm like, Split looks cool. You have James McAvoy having different, characters and different people and different, things in his head. And that movie turned out really good. It was like, holy crap, this is an amazing movie. And then the ending just went up. And the ending was basically Bruce Willis is in this universe playing the character he played in Unbreakable. So this is basically a spinoff of Unbreakable. And then it was announced that the character from Split that James McAvoy plays, the character from Unbreakable with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis are playing. They're doing a movie called Glass, and it's basically going to be an intertwined story of these two universes pulled together. And I'm telling you what, that sounds exciting to me. The trailers look awesome. I'm excited for it. M. Night Shyamalan, as crazy as it sounds, maybe back on track as being one of the better, most creative directors in the market. I still don't know if it's going to be awesome, but the trailers have pulled it off, even though they're a little bit spoilery. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks great. We'll see what happens. But for right now, it's number 6. So I'm really excited by it. So we'll see what happens. So number 5 is a film that had a trailer come out a few months ago. It was supposed to release this year, but they pushed it back for reasons, probably editing or whatever. I don't know if you've seen Eastern Promises. I don't know if you've seen Dirty Pretty Things, but there's this director called Stephen Knight. He also did Locke, if you've ever seen that with Tom Hardy. He's a talented director. He also worked, I think, on Peaky Blinders. He has this movie coming out called Serenity. It has Matthew McConaughey as Diane Lane. It has Anne Hathaway in it, and it's a story about Anne Hathaway's husband, who's played by Jason Clarke. He She wants him to be killed by Matthew McConaughey, and there's a whole thing where Matthew McConaughey decides not to do it, and things start to blow out of proportion. I don't know a whole lot about this movie outside of what I've seen in the trailer, but the trailer is amazing. It's one of my favorite trailers of the year, just because of how the music spins, how the reel clicks as everything moves. And I love Stephen Knight. I love Eastern Promises so much. I love Peaky Blinders. I love Dirty Pretty Things, which is a quotable movie. There's a joke in it that me and people I know worked at the movie theater. But I'm really excited by this. I think it's going to be a fun, good movie. It got pushed back, which is not necessarily a bad thing, unless you're Dark Phoenix. But I'm really excited by what is entailing in this movie. And I have a lot of faith in Stephen Knight. And of course, Matthew McConaughey is Matthew McConaughey. Anne Hathaway is Anne Hathaway. Diane Lane, all that good stuff. So we'll see what happens, but it's high on my list because I'm looking forward to it. So 2 years ago in February, something else happened. And I know I keep saying something else happened, but February had a little call movie called Get Out. Jordan Peele directed it, had Daniel Kaluuya, had Kathleen Keener, Bradley Whitford, and it was my favorite movie of the year. This movie was incredible. It was suspenseful. It had a lot of political commentary. It had a lot of racial commentary, and it was completely dark and funny and just over the top. Stephen Root was pretty awesome in this movie. Everything was just it was so good, and I'm just like it gave me chills watching the movie because it was so awesome. And so Jordan Peele became this commodity. He got an Academy Award win for Get Out for writing. Daniel Kaluuya got a nomination. They got a Best Picture nomination. I kind of wish it would have won, but it was my favorite movie of the year. And so Jordan Peele announced his next project outside of the Twilight Zone, and it was called Us. And it has Lupita Nyong'o, it has Elizabeth Moss in it, it has Winston Duke, it has Tim Heidecker from Tim and Eric, who pops up in these weird movies but I don't know anything about it. It's in my top 10. Jordan Peele gets a pass just like James Mangold. I just, even if this movie sucks, I'm putting it in my top 10 because Get Out was so good. And I can't wait to see what Jordan Peele. I wish there was a trailer out for this movie. But for right now, it's in my top 10 for a reason. And that's the reason of being number 4. And it's because it looks like it could be a good movie. It's Jordan Peele. Who knows what he's going to do? But I'm sure it's going to be scary. I'm sure it's going to be politically correct, or not politically correct, but racial. It's gonna have a lot of racial commentary, and I'm looking forward to it. So it's my number 4, and there are 3 other movies that I'm more looking forward to, but I wanted to put this in my top 5 because of reasons for that of Jordan Peele being a great director. So DreamWorks Animation has had 3 franchises that I really enjoy: the Shrek franchise, the Kung Fu Panda franchise, and of course their best franchise, How to Train Your Dragon franchise. I love this franchise. It is heartbreaking. It is exciting. The animation's amazing. The score by John Powell isn't fantastic. It's got great actors like Jay Baruchel and Jonah Hill and Gerard Butler. Crazy enough, and it shows you the Toothless, who's a night fury, and it shows Hiccup, who's the main character, and they become friends and they bond and they actually change the world for the better, even though things are against them. And this is the culmination of the trilogy. And what it's going to do basically is kind of, I think it's going to set in the future, and he's going to tell how basically dragons kind of disappeared and how they disappeared into this hidden world. Because in this film, Toothless finds a woman or a girl dragon. I don't know what her character's name is, but these trailers are incredible. Like, I don't know why DreamWorks struggles so much with their films, but movies like How to Train Your Dragon, movies like Kung Fu Panda, they have something special behind them, and I just get goosebumps and chills whenever I see movies like this because there's something special about the way the storytelling is played out in these movies, and that's why I'm looking forward to this. And this is why it's number three, which is ironic because it's the third movie. But How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, is just, it looks incredible, and it looks like it's going to tug on your heartstrings, and it looks like it's going to do a lot of things that it should do, and that's why I'm looking forward to it, and that's why it's so high on my list. You know, a lot of animation films don't go that high outside of a Pixar movie, but this is a franchise that I love with all my heart, and rivals some of the best animated franchises on the market, and that's why it's number three. So, but there are two other films I'm looking forward to more. So our next film is, number two is, if you've seen any of my trailer reacts, there's one trailer that I didn't get a chance to react to because it had come out before I even started this thing. But the other trailer just released a few days ago when I'm recording this, which is a few weeks before December 31st. And this trailer is incredible. And I got to give props to Michael Daugherty because he's a writer of X2. He directed one of my favorite horror films of all time, Trick or Treat. And we have a film that's called Godzilla King of the Monsters. And I'm going to tell you what, this movie looks like everything that I've ever wanted out of a Godzilla movie that's not from Toho. This movie looks incredible. This second trailer that came out that shows Mothra and King Ghidorah and Rodan, it's just insane. Just watching the trailer, just watching how it plays out. And then you got Vera Farmiga, you got Kyle Chandler, you got Ken Watanabe, you got Sally Hawkins, you got Millie Bobby Brown in this movie. And I don't know, they're just, this movie just feels like it's going to be something truly special, and this is what I wish the original Godzilla that came out, what I wish Kong Skull Island when it came out, I wish those movies had this charm, because even though they were great trailers, this movie looks like it's going balls crazy, that it's going for everything, that it's throwing in the kitchen sink, and that's what Roland Emmerich failed to do in the original Godzilla, and that's what, all these directors they try, and I'm worried about Godzilla vs Kong because I love the director, but it's like I think Michael Daugherty is perfect for this movie, and if this movie fails, then I'm gonna cry. I'm not really gonna cry, but I'm gonna be sad because you know Michael Daugherty has a good eye to visual effects, and it really feels like he knows this property and he knows how he's going to play this property, and that's why it's number two on my list, because it blows my mind how good this movie looks and how much feel it gives you when you watch the trailer. I would have put it number one, but of course, if you know me, you know what I like, you'll know why it's not number one. But there's number two, high on my list. Great looking trailer, hopefully great movie. So, but with that, let's go ahead and reveal the number one movie. I'm gonna be straight with you on, okay? I love The Last Jedi. My favorite Star Wars movie. I don't care if you guys don't like it. It doesn't bother me. I love that movie. I think it's one of the most inventive Star Wars movies I've ever seen. Why Ryan Johnson gets so much hate, I don't know, but that's a whole different ball of can of worms, ball of wax, whatever you want to call it. Star Wars is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I have loved this series ever since I was a little kid. Going this, even though the special editions were not great with him tweaking everything with George Lucas, there's something special about a Star Wars movie that just it gets you in that childhood mood. It gets you that goosebumpy feel that you just can't explain it. Even though like I'm not a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of these movies, you can't deny what Star Wars is. And a lot of people are going to go into Marvel movies these days, a lot of kids, because that's their franchise. Star Wars has always been like that for me. I mean, I do a Star Wars podcast, and the people I do it with love the franchise as well. And I don't know. I did just something like I go day one. I take the day off to go see this movie, It's that type of franchise, and Star Wars Episode 9 has to be number one for me because I just I get goosebumps every time I think about what this franchise is and what it has become. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, this Last Jedi was terrible." It's a movie. It's a sci-fi opera. It's a thing about people fighting with swords. That's fine, but what Star Wars is to me is a movie about escapism, about fantasy, about good versus evil, and I just feel like that these characters resonate so well in my life and so well in my soul that Star Wars Episode 9, it may not be the best movie in the world, but I'm gonna love it just the same. And I crack on Force Awakens a lot, and I feel it's a lot like New Hope. I still love the movie. I still watch it. I still think it's great. I think the actors in this, Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, John Boyega, I think they're a great trilogy pair who have come into their own, and I'm going to be sad to see them leave, even though they'll probably come back in different forms. But I can't deny I'm excited for this movie. December can't come soon enough. I can't wait to when I go to Star Wars Celebration in April in Chicago. And that's why it's number one because there is no franchise out there that gets me like Star Wars. So, but there you go. That's my top 10. Like I said, entirely different than most of you guys. I'm sure you put Avengers and Endgame in your number one spot, which is cool. Like I said, everybody has their own idea of what they want in a top 10 list, but that's mine. That's Movie Emporium's list. But as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a great New Year's Eve. As always, if you like what you see, remember to rate, subscribe, check out YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, email enlapola113@gmail.com. Comment below. Tell me what your top 10 list is. I know it'll probably be different, but I'm interested. I'll respond. I'll be like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll yell at you. No, I'm kidding. I won't yell at you. But anyways, guys, we'll see you in 2019. You guys have a great New Year's, okay? Peace.